Well, hello everyone. Welcome aboard Flying with Mike. We're flying something weird today. Something small, weird, and, well, ought to be fun. So they say. It's a business jet, and for those of you who are not airplane aficionados, and yes, that's a big word for this hour of the morning here in the central U.S., it's a Cessna Citation sitting on the ramp here. Where well, I flew it up here. I think I flew it on stream and did a quite horrible job at it. And hopefully today will be different. Uh, Today we're going to fly November 3206 from Macon County. And I think it's North Carolina, but it could be Georgia. We're up here in the Smoky Mountains, well, what the Smoky Mountains are known for, fogged in. However, that's not going to stop the IFR aircraft here. We're going to blast off out of here looking at that windsock. It's directly across the runway. So runway is of our choosing. And I think we're going to blast off, well, let's see what the flight plan calls for, shall we? Hang on a second. Check here. Runway 7. So we're going to blast off from west to east. So probably that's from that end of the runway. Moving on down to the other, we'll bank left and head up to VOR SOT, which stands for, a second here, Snowbird. I've been over that mountain. Well, that's not the same mountain. So, but Snowbird VOR on to leave Pulaski VOR, that is correct, into Roanoke. So let's do something here while we're sitting on, well, let's get on up into the cockpit here. Let's first close up our baggage compartments. Our customer will be out here shortly. Baggage closed. There's also one on the other side, just right behind the ground power. Everything, that one we can't open. And while we're at it, let's get rid of the static elements. So the only thing left here is the main doors open, ground power unit attached. So be a good flight here. So let's get into the cockpit here. We're going to look at it just behind where the door slides. Although I've been thinking about pulling this camera up a little bit. For now, we'll leave it as is. So you get a look at the cockpit here. We do have a checklist here up. We'll get to that momentarily. Stand by. Something doesn't look right here. And I know why. There we go. Okay. So let's pull in. Let me make sure it's going to pull correctly. I'm glad I did this because it would not have. Let's do that. All right. So hang on just a second. Sorry about that, folks. My daughter stopped by and just went over a couple things with her, and then we're able to get back. Sorry for that delay. All right, so we are going to bring, we were in the process of bringing SkyVector over. Okay, there it is. Let me get into a better format here for me. It's not SkyVector. Second. Okay, anyway, we're starting off. Oh, it's just off the map, too. I just noticed. Sorry. Okay, so we're starting out down here. Closest reporting station is Silva, which is showing us basically broken at 200 because of fog. You can see 16 and 16, but we do get an altimeter out of them of 32.6, so we'll run with that. Then we're going to head up here to SOT, over to Pulaski, and into Roanoke, if I didn't say that before. It's one of the first airports I flew long after I had my private, but when I went to Ohio University for additional flight training to try and become a commercial pilot before trying to enter the Air Force as a pilot. But it was one of the airports I went to. So I thought, what the heck, let's give it a visit from here. It's only, according to SkyVector, 214 miles out. So let's go ahead and pull that, and now we'll bring in Toolkit. Again, you can see the same route, little different texturing here, but you get some of the weather. A lot of these returns probably could be fog, maybe some light drizzle mixed in, but we're going to blast off here shortly. Scheduled for 20 minutes. I believe we're on the map already. There I am. And I just want to get this into one of my timers so we can let y'all be able to follow us here. All right, so we got that timer on. All right, so that now brings us to taking a look here. Let's see if we can't zoom in. The goal here today is going to be to 31,000 feet. I may pull back to 29, but we'll see. Little bit of rain showers to the north, but overall not a bad run. It's an okay map, not the greatest. But we will be departing runway 7. It's a 5,000 foot runway. Elevation here is 2,034 feet. Can't get you a density altitude. There is no reporting station. So, with all of this in mind, we're going to we'll just set it here. And who did we have just chime in? Yabo, I play Z726. Thanks for the follow. Hope you enjoy the ride. It's going to be about a 45-minute flight once we get airborne. So let's pull Sim Toolkit. Oop. Okay, and there we go. Get the right one. All right, so we are in the Cessna Citation 500 from Carenado in X-Plane. So welcome aboard, Yabio. Hope you have a fun time. Feel free to fly along with us. We are on VATSIM K1A5. So Kilo, the number 1, Alpha, the number 5. You may also have to search 1 Alpha 5 to find it, depending on how it shows up in your sim. So we're going to hop up here into the cockpit and let's start on these checklist items, shall we? And let's get this bird in the air. All right, so pre-flight inspections complete, flashlights on board. We're just going through these, are pretty much just checked off. Let's go over, wait a minute. Oh, different plane. Sorry, folks. Oh, my mind was on the Navajo we flew last night. My bad. Oxygen quantity's good. We're into green. Oh, I'm like, why is everything backwards on me here? Anti-ice, de-ice, that's all the green lever or buttons, switches here, down. Control locks. Have they been removed? This is a very important check, folks. A lot of people kind of hee-haw around with this one, but folks, this is one that's life or death in the real world. And several crashes attested to it. So we check our flight surfaces, make sure they are moving, because if those control locks were in, you would maybe get this much out of them at best. You can see where they come into problems. All right, so control locks have been removed, and so have the yokes. All right, generators. All right, now we're going to start getting into some stuff here. Generators are off and will remain off. Now, with a generated assist that we're going to do start, we're going to leave the generators off. Once we kick the right generator on, it becomes the dominant generator on the plane, and the flight crew or ground crew can remove the generator from the aircraft. That way they're not under a running engine. I'm sure they enjoy that. Okay, fuel boost pumps. We're going to go to norm. Crossfeed is set. Now, where is the crossfeed? Being a general aviation, let's do it this way. Oh, wait a minute. Here I go again, thinking Navajo, guys. Sorry. Sorry. Oh, you gotta love it when you fly too many planes. Crossfeed's right here. Sorry, my mind went right back to the Navajo last night. Gyro slave switch. Set to auto. We're gonna run on the left. Standby gyro. That is run by this switch here. To do a test, we have to turn the battery switch on. And we're going to test, make sure the flag comes in. Flag did, flag's out. And we're going to turn the battery switch off. Even though we're on the generator, no need to get ahead of ourselves. Cabin pressure rate set. Let's see if I can remember all of this. Okay, we're set for auto. And let's go ahead and set our 29. Okay, so the top one, as you can see, says cabin. That is your cabin pressure. What the people in the cabin feel like at 29,000 feet. In this case, it's just under, they're going to feel like they're at about 8,000 feet. This dual dial, basically, I can't remember how they said this, shows the rate. This is basically the rate at which we're pressurizing. It's nothing more than a VSI, vertical speed indication. Inner is the rate of pressure. Outer, I believe, is the outside air pressure. I could have got it backwards. So we're set. We're going to go cut off. Okay, it did a lot of it for me. All right, so before start, final checks. Okay, we're going to turn the battery switch back on. AC on. Powering up the aircraft. We're going to do a rotary check before our, okay, let's do a battery check. Go to battery. Okay, we got good 24 volt. Let's go over to the right hand, and there we've got a good show of volts. Okay, turn that off. Go back to battery. We're going to do a test now
Pause.
of
System test OK.
Terrain awareness test start. Terrain awareness system passed. Terrain awareness test complete.
Left engine fired. Right engine fired. Ready.
Okay. Now we'll go down the right. These are the fire
Left
ones.
engine fired. Right engine fired.
Landing gear.
Battery overtest.
Right there's the light. Stick shaker, which we don't have. Okay. Of those tests, the ones that V1 simulation that I listened to said is obviously your engine fires are, all of them are important. Engine fires, duh, you know, you're losing an engine or lost one. One that I always kind of hee-hawed around in the fire department with is battery overheat. And he said, that one's pretty bad too. And that's an actual emergency. And that's the indication you get. And it's a light that comes on right where my cursor is. So we did the rotary test. Parking brake is this lever right here is set. Landing gear down, 3 green, no warnings. Engines instruments. Okay. Engine instruments are all right here. No flags, no warnings. All look good. Electric trim we can't test. All we can do is come down, set the trim here. Hang on a second. I'm going to go ahead and bring the yoke in. Hoping to work around this. Okay. Okay. All right. Airspeed bug. I am going to set for 180 on our climb. And climb out speed is good, is one of the best rates of climb the aircraft will do. Fuel quantities. Let's get into weight and balance real quick. For that, let's bring the Sim Toolkit up real quick. And with it, the load sheet. All right, so payload's going to be 1920 flight. Edit weight and balances, 1920. Fuel load, 2730. Okay. Fuel quantity. Something don't look right. That's why. I thought something didn't look right. 2730. 2730. Done. Done. Much better. Just under 3,000 pounds, so that looks good. No flags, no problems. All right, now we can set up our GPS, folks. Now, GPS in this bird. Yep. Good old FMC. Hang on a second. What I'm going to do is kind of position it up here. So I'm kind of not in my way. All right, so the route menu, pilot, F plan. All right, I can't remember. Is it K1 Alpha 5? Nope. See what I mean? Got to kind of experiment. Each one's different because I think that's how I put it in here. Get to this point. Oop. Alpha 5. Yep. Okay. There we go. And KROA Flight number, we'll go with November. What are we today? Okay, let's look at Sim Toolkit for that. November 3206. Okay, first fix is ST. And if you don't know where the other one is, folks, I'll give you a hint. South Korea. Osan, South Korea to be exact. Where are you? PSK. Fied. 1680. Okay. And we're planned. Okay. Now, radios. All right, so we're set 122,800, 122,950, 121. I'm just going to have some fun here. Okay. SOT is 108. $880. Put that up top. Followed by what we got? 16.8. Let me verify that. Okay, 116.8. Always, folks, when in doubt, consult the chart. Okay, and VOR2 is set. Climb out for today. And let me bring down this one as well. Bear with me a second here as I get things kind of... Go. All right, there's one more that I'm going to pull up here. Okay, and that's mainly as a way to track. Keep that closed for now. As with that one. Okay. All right, sorry for that, folks. All right, so Roanoke. Yep. Look at something here on the charts real quick with it. We are slated for runway 6. Okay, so we have an LDA. Let's take a look at the airport. All right, so runway 6 is right here. General aviation's here. So that's not actually too bad. Yeah, what we'll do, we'll go ahead and plan the LDA for runway 6 and come in on it. That or we'll do the RNAV, one of the two. Okay, oops. Since we don't have a star, we have LDAs and an RNAV. Pretty neat. Okay. They're going to be the same, I'll bet. Oh, the RNAV comes in from the VOR. Okay, cool. All right, I'm just looking ahead, folks, on my charts program. All right, we'll get into that here as we continue on. All right, so we are going to go to a flight level of 29er. Okay, come on, you can do it. 28290. All right, and flight plans filed. All right, get rid of that. Battery can go off. Okay, seats. Okay, so quick look over our checklist. We are just in the ready to go phase, folks. Just waiting on our passengers. And as I look over, notice some toolkits still way in front of us. There we go. Okay, that was a bunch of sounds you didn't understand. I'm not sure what they were. I know we had a jet fly overhead, but that's compliments of living by Scott Air Force Base. All right, let's go ahead and button her up. Let's get airborne, folks. We're due out of here in 6 minutes, I think it is. Okay. Where are we? Come on, there we go. All right, so battery switch goes on. Beacon light. Nav lights. Cockpit lights, we're going to keep the floods down, but we'll bring rest up to the 12 o'clock position. Standby gyro on. Air conditioning's off. Cabin doors locked. Light out. Let's see what it looks like when it's open. Okay, so for those of you who don't see, it's right here. Cabin door is locked before starts are checked. All right, now we're going to leave the AC and the avionics off just so we don't cause any kind of power surge into the avionics systems during engine start. Now, a couple things about the engine start that people need to understand. Okay, I'm going to pull back just a smidge and kick it over. Not too much. There we go. Okay. To start up most general aviation aircraft, and for those in the military, it goes the same for the C-21, C-12s. Well, C-12s not necessarily. That's the King Airs. But most of your corporate-like jets in the Air Force, Army, and Navy. Oh, excuse me there, folks. You're going to kick the starter on as soon as you get to the 8% mark. You're going to lift the gate here and then push the throttle forward till the gate comes down, and then you can bring it back to idle. Same thing with starting it. You're going to lift the gate, pull the throttle back until the gate closes, and then that'll shut your engine down. All right, so for startup, what we're going to do, get this thing kind of positioned in a way, hopefully, yeah, we can do it. We're going to hit the, well, let's do it this way. Can't see it. Dang it. All right, so we'll have to do a little. All right, so we're going to watch this gauge here. We're going to start up number 2 first. Now, I'm going off of what V1 Simulations YouTube video showed. I like the reasoning behind it, kind of, sort of. They start number 2 up. It's on the left side of or right side of the aircraft, so if there is a problem, you can get out the left side without being on fire. Sounds good. But if number 1 starts up, it catches fire, same thing happens then. I don't know. You be the judge. That's just me. So let's go ahead, start. We're watching it to get over 8%. Over 8%. Lift the gate. And we're going to be watching the needles come up. Here they come, rolling up. So is N1. And we're going to wait for this engine to stabilize. Okay, here comes turbine temperature down. Needles starting to show as it's building up on N1. And we should idle out here momentarily. Okay, we just stabilized. I'm going to go ahead, kick the gen on, and pull the ground power. Okay, starting up number 1. Same process. Okay, N2's above 8. Fuel gate valve open. And we're spooling up, as we can see here on the turbine, N2. ITT, turbine temperature is building up, stabilizing. Oil temps are coming up, pressures are coming up, looking good. And once we stabilize, GPU's already been pulled. Go to the gen. It's on. Okay, hang on a second here. I had to close it. I was trying to see what the warning was. Okay. Just going through them, folks. It's gonna... Okay. Alright, so generator switches are on. Voltage check. Okay, so let's go to right. Looks good. Left. Amperage looks good. Okay, we can bring the AC power and master avionics back on. Passenger advisory. Set and auto. Set to normal. 9. Gyro pressure is over here. It's looking good in the green. All of them are in the green. Oh, air conditioning, fan or off. Okay, anti-skid. Anti-skid is right here, folks. It is now on. We're going to do an inverter check. Inverters, just so you can see now, it's going to light a warning up over here. Get that right below it. Number 1. Okay. Number 2. And we're all all good. Belts and harnesses fastened, exterior lights as request, recognition. Before taxi, good. Okay, for taxi, we're going to set our transponder. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and turn the ADF on. Okay, we're set, and we're going to go to altitude. Okay. We're going to check our brakes, we're going to check our steering, and we're going to do a flight control check, though, before we come out. All right, so one more time, we're checking. And then you'll see the rudder pedals moving under the panel, okay? Let's go outside the airplane. Rudders. Okay. Flight controls are good. All right, flaps. We're going to make sure they work all the way. We're going to be doing a lot of this so that our customer doesn't have to sit and wait too long at the end of the runway. Okay, that's maximum flaps. Okay, flaps are good. All right, so back into plane. Now we're going to start getting her set for flight. Okay, so the flight director I've got turned on. Heading. Let's go 07. Course to SOT on takeoff. Track 28. Okay. Okay. And then finally, get our altitude. Okay, now what we're going to do is put altitude select on IAS, so that way it'll climb at this level. Anti-ice, we are going to go ahead and first off, I have to get rid of these guys again. Okay, and we're going to zoom in. I'm going to go ahead and put our engines on. Okay, we're going to do a thrust reverse check. Okay, looks good. Go to emergency to disarm. Good, turn that off. On, off. All right, final, let's get that altimeter one more time, which was from 1535, so that's real close, 3026. Okay, airfield elevation. 2034. Close enough. Go close enough. Right there we are. Radio set, fuel quantity balance, pressure source. Second, this is what I need. Left, right, okay. Okay. Speed brakes, check and retract. Okay, we're extending. Okay, you can see the little flap at the bottom and on the top. Let's go ahead, retract. Flap set 7. Trims, set 3 wheels. What do they mean by set 3 wheels? Right there they are, folks, if I can get it to play nice. Rudder, aileron, and the one we deal with the most, takeoff. Crew briefing complete again. 180 is going to be our best rate of climb. Taxi ready. Okay. And I want to do one check. Chattanooga approach. I don't think they get us. Looks like we're well outside their territory. Just making sure. Sure we're not moving. Yeah, we're outside, so. All right, no ATC. All right, before we make the move here, Smoogie3, welcome aboard. Roxy, welcome aboard. Extra More, and Arabs, welcome aboard. Hope y'all have a great Thursday, getting ready for your big old Friday weekend, and hope y'all have a great day. All right, Macon County traffic, Cessna, November 3206, taxi to runway 7. I think for a second. What we're going to do, obviously, is taxi in that general direction. Here we go, spooling up. All right, we're going to be doing these as we move. So ignition's to on. Again, anti-ice is set. Pitot heat on. Exterior lights on. Transponder. TCAS is on. We'll get that warning here in just a second. Just want to get out here and get moving. Okay, now next up after this flight, folks, we're going to move into flying with Mike in the Allegiant A320. So look forward to that as well. We need to set nav source to GPS. Okay, let's stow that. Okay, engine instruments all look green, no flags. Annunciator panel we need to check when we get to the end. And because I do show a light on, I need to find out if I got the pitot heat on. I thought I did. Yeah, pitot heat's on. Oh, that's our engine ice. Okay, that's perfectly fine. Okay. Departure runway. Bugs aligned and verified. All right. Forward takeoff complete. All right, that's our after takeoff. All right. So we'll just kind of ease on down the road here. Bunch of sounds you don't understand. I don't know what they were. But Yabo, I play. Wish I could help you out there. Smoggy 3, Rosie, and Extra More and Arabs. Welcome again aboard to the stream. Hope y'all are having a great day. And we're good. While we're at it, we'll just set this one. Fog's starting to burn off here, folks. All right, almost there. We're going to use all 5,000 feet. Well, hopefully not. Let's take a look outside the plane. Do 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 do. Bet y'all didn't know a Citation had a tail camera, especially off the tail. It's actually on one of those selfie sticks sticking back to kind of help me down the center line. All right, Macon County traffic, Cessna November 3206, departing runway 7. Oh, and the skies have cleared. No ACARs to run. Flaps set 7. Alright folks, takeoff will be at roughly 90. We'll rotate, climb out initially at 100, put the flaps and gear up, and then we'll get up to 180 as we head up towards Snowbird VOR. Here we go. Don't want a red line. Rotate. Gear up. Now, when I kick the autopilot on, folks, guess what it's going to do is go straight to nav, to the GPS, and straight into altitude select. We're just getting this initial climb out of the way. We'll nose over here to start accelerating as we turn. Flaps are up. And again, remember, high-paying people behind you, you know, own this plane or corporate. So finesse is the name of the game, which with flying with Mike, I don't know much of. Okay, so we're going to start nosing over, down with the trim slightly. Autopilot on. Yaw damper. Big thing is we don't want to descend. Years we have flown through. Now we're climbing to meet that. We're going to go ahead and let her climb a little bit harder. Not sure why she didn't grab the GPS, but we're going to make it happen. Heading. I have a feeling this time I forgot to hit the nav switch. That was my bad. Sorry, folks. Oh well. They'll enjoy. They'll think we were just being vectored behind us. Oh, I'm set for 160 over here. There we go. Alright, folks, let's get into the climb stuff. Landing gears up. 3 green. Flaps are now up. Okay. Engine sync. Alright, engine sync. On. Hang on a second here. Okay, ignition's back to normal.
Autopilot. Autopilot.
Dummy, dummy, dummy. Alright, we're all reset. I hit the wrong switch, folks. I think I did that before. I did not kill. Should not have. Legs. Good. Climb power set. And is 10,000 feet, lights off. Okay. And we're turning on course. Any skids off. Pressurization check. Actually, I may set that camera eventually to that. You look good, 29, and all is well. Okay. Passenger advisory. Exterior lights as required. Climb checks complete. We'll hit transition here momentarily and we'll go through that. Alright, folks, we're on our way. Doing the best we can in this bird. Hang on a second. Anti-skids off, so that's why these can go off. Climb power looks good. All right, we are set up for 29,000 in the climb, folks. So let's see how well we do. Bear with me here. I just realized some things may not be lining up like I wanted them to. There we go. There we go. Right through 14. Yeah, I think I'm going to move that camera to there. All right. And away we go. Actually, I can set that now. Perfect. All right, and 3. Yeah, I've got to figure out how to set this up so you can see the gates, plus the pressure panel and that. So we'll work on that as we push through 16,000 now, folks. Oh, excuse me. If there's a watermelon, shouldn't there be a fire melon, air melon, earth melon, or elements? Very good. Where are we? St. Petersburg, Russia, doing some testing. So, folks, those of you over in Europe, you want to head over and get into some of that testing to help that guy become an approach controller? Power to you. I, on the other hand, am going to stay here in the States today and continue my flight to Roanoke. Oh, we got a TWA flight out here. Let's see, where are they? MSY to LaGuardia. Ooh. All right, so... Well, Jay Drums was with us earlier, and he has now decided to either enjoy his day off or enjoy a day at work or enjoy a day at the car dealership. The latter does not sound fun. Okay. See what we can get away with here. Oh yeah, things are looking much better. Okay, 18,000 feet means we set to 2992. Transition. Okay, standard. I wish there was a standard button. Oh, don't tell me. Oh no, I just pushed it. It probably did. Oh well. Cross-checked, recognition lights can go off. Oxygen we will now check. Still in the green. Fresh check. All looks good. Right. Transition complete. That sets us up for descent. All right. Like it when a plan is appearing to come together like it should. Appearing. We're not on the ground yet, folks. So. All right, everything's looking good on here. Let's take another look outside as we cross over. Little quandary I had with J Drums a couple nights ago. Flying over the Blue Ridge Mountains here, folks. They sure look green to me. I don't get the blue. Just saying. Alright, we should be about ready to make that turn. There it is. Alright, and we are climbing away in our beautiful, well, it's not a balloon. Close. Balloon was at 29,000 or 21,000 feet. Hopefully they're on air. It's pretty thin out there, folks, at this altitude. Alright, there's SOT as we turn now for Pulaski. Alright, let's take a look while we're climbing here. Let's bring up charts. Take a look what we have in store for us going into Roanoke. Alright, so I don't have us on the chart. Let's see, where are we? There we are. Alright, we're pushing up to here. Game plan. Runway 6. We're going to do the Yankee from PSK. How about that, folks? Let's go ahead. Let's push down a little, pull up. And go in here to departure arrival, Roanoke. Oh, which one is it? I did it again. Hang on, there we go. GPS Yankee or RNAV. Okay, we'll do that one, enter. Now what are we doing? No, we need to go direct. Alright. Yeah, you gotta love when it does that. I guess I was supposed to plug that in the beginning. Well, that's what I get. Okay, we'll just go right here. Alright, so now we're back on course. We're getting there, let's just put it that way. So we got Riviera, Dixie, Clam. Oh, that's after PSK. My bad. Alright, so as we can say, Pulaski VOR is not on the chart. See, procedure not available for arrivals at PSK VOR on airway radial 069er. Clockwise to 153. Well, let's see. Are we going to be that guy? We are going to be that guy. Well, we're not supposed to fly it, it looks like. Wait a minute, on airway radials. Hang on a second. Gonna be on a high. We're not on an airway. Wonder why. I always wonder some of these things. Because J22 would be that. We're coming in at almost 6.9. Huh, I don't get it. Getting close to our level off. Interesting. All right. I was just taking a look over at the charting. So let's take a look at it, shall we? GPS Yankee, runway 6. Here's our ATIS, approach, tower, ground frequencies. Okay, we're on an RNAV, so we don't have anything to worry about here. Sometimes there's a frequency there, just not this one. Final approach 072. It's very similar to the displaced localizer, so we are going to have to adjust slightly as we come in to line up. All right, at Clam, right here on the chart, which is right below 9.7 out. We need to be at 4,300 feet. Again, basically, kind of see why we got some high terrain in the area, roughing up to around 4,000. I'm zooming in just to see what the sectional says. 4,400 to the south, 4,000. I mean, there's some high terrain in the area. Okay, so we'll watch for that. Clam would be about right here around Blacksburg and right on in. So 4,300 feet there. We will be, if there's a glide slope on it, or coming down. So we'll be at 4,300 feet at that point. Dixie at 5,200. River, we don't have an altitude, but we'll be at or above 5,200 feet. Minimum is 6,000, so we'll be descending through that. And the reason I get 6,000 is right here, 5,200 here. So we'll come down. Oh, excuse me, folks. So then our LNAV MDA is 1720, which appears to be right in this area. Airfield elevation, folks, is 1,100, almost 1,200 feet. So that's about 500 feet above the ground. So gives you an idea for this arrival. Okay, missed approach. We'll climb on a right turn to 4,000 to DeWitt and hold. Of course, our transition. Anyone know what it is in the U.S.? Because it never changes. 18,000 feet. Gave you a chance. All right, Dixie, Clam, High, Valoo, K Kicks is the missed approach point. And again, we're going to descend down after Clam to 1720, and hopefully we'll see the runway. Current conditions say we should. Okay, just doing a little bit of housekeeping on my part here. All right. To maintain that 3-degree descent, folks, we're going to find what we're doing ground speed. We're going to be right around 100 to 120. So as long as we maintain about a 530 to 630 descent rate, we should be fine down that descent from Clam to K-Kicks. Minimums, which is what this is, there again is our 1720 MDA or MSL, which is 540 feet above the ground. Stand by, folks. Heard someone at my door. I just want to make sure my daughter pushed it close. Stand by. Okay, folks, sorry for that. Ended up not only checking on the dog, but get her up to about there. Okay. Ended up getting a cup of coffee and having to use the restroom on top of it. So, all right. So as you can see, we have leveled off. Let's continue though. Continuing was 3/4 of a mile visibility, and well, actually, we're a mile and an eighth. So, Malzer, VATSIMs. Now, VATSIMs differ from PAPIs. PAPIs are a straight line, either 2 or 4, for your visual guidance down the runway. Your VATSIM are boxes stacked between. The back will be red. Wait a minute. Let me make sure I get it right. Yeah, red. The front should be white. Too high to make the landing point there. Too low if you hit the back box. The middle is the sweet spot. So, anyway, so we're going to have that on the left here. Again, here's our missed approach, and if we need to circle to land, here's our requirements. So there you go, folks. There's what we're looking at. Pull that away, and then you'll be able to see we're level. All right, so pull this up. I actually may set this into a different look as well eventually, but not right now. Okay, so Pulaski is about 53 miles out. So let's first do the math of when we're going to do our top of descent. Stand by. I'm just getting a couple of things going here. Yeah, we're still porpoising quite a bit up here. As she goes way over the altitude. Long way above. Hang on a minute, folks, while we try to get her to behave. She did pretty good on a flight not too long ago. Okay, so the math here is hiding from me. Hang on a second. Basically, current altitude 29 minus 6,000. Hang on a second, my laptop is Let's see, -6 times 3. 69 miles. Currently, Pulaski to the airport would be... Alright, so top of descent is going to occur prior to. And we're almost where Sim Toolkit puts it at. Let me show you that. Love showing off Sim Toolkit. Folks, if you don't have this program, all I can say is shame on you. It's free. You don't like free? Okay, top of descent shows there. Airport's up there in the top. Now, again, shame on you if you don't have this. See, it tells you top of descent. There's Pulaski and in. I do know there's another similar program out there. I haven't had the chance to check on it. I am going to try it out. Volanta, I think it's called, or something along those lines. I just like this. It's real simple. It's free, and I've heard the other one is too. Real easy for people like me to use. So, and I can couple Navigraph to it. If you've got Active Sky already, folks, you can couple that weather to it, and so forth. Keeps up to date with Airnax, the whole 9 yards. All right. So that's Sim Toolkit. I really love this program. I've been flying with it for quite a while. Matter of fact, I think since my first stream last September 16th. Until, now I've been flying with it. I've been looking for it and trying it. Compliments of Captain Mac's videos. Check him out on YouTube, folks. He's a good streamer. Haven't seen him in a while with a new one. But, life is life. There'll be a week coming up here in October where I may or may not be streaming because of jury duty. So... But looking at Sim Toolkit, you can see we're coming up on that. Let's pull it away. Let's set up for the descent, shall we? We're going to bring her down. I'm going to take her down to 5,700 feet. We'll take her down to 6,000. That's the minimum from Pulaski inbound to river. All right, and then all we'll have to do is click altitude select, and we're going to go ahead and descend to 200 to be safe. Still no controllers up. All right, descent. The fogger's on. Hang on, let me check something here. Okay, defog fan high. Wrong one. Okay, defog is high. Foot warmers we aren't using. Come on, compute. Pressurization is set. Windshield bleeds on. Anti-ice will remain on. Fuel balanced. Descent check set. Alright, so let's do it. Let me just check something real quick. We're going to start our descent. Okay, altitude select IAS. What it's going to do is slow itself. Now we're going to slow it down. And as we get into 200 or 190, whatever this is, it will start descending to maintain it. There it goes. Okay, so we'll turn the approach off for now so it's not in the way. Pulaski is 30 miles out. That should be on our VORs. Get our heading set. Nice and easy. And again, it's using the aircraft with the current power setting, folks, either up or down in this descent to maintain 190. If I go up to 200 and give it a little power, it'll ease up on it to catch up to 200. Again, the reason we're going to 6, the big Marcus is in the room, folks. Welcome aboard, sir. I'm gonna beat you to it this time. That way I've got it covered if I got a bad landing. Still trying to learn the bird, so, you know. Anyone, by the way, knows anything about Cessna Citation flying? Folks, this kid's 4th flight. That's all I'm going to tell you. This is flight number 4 with it. So, wait a minute. 1, 2, yeah, flight number 4 with it. So, let me just get myself caught up here as to... Okay, so the anti-skid's on. We got our left and right engine ice on. So that's the 2 lights on here. Just, they're good. Okay. So anyway, that's the way we're descending. I lost track of where I was going. But anyway, folks, just going to go check something. Doggone it. May you fare better at 56, folks, with the memory. Alright, let me, couple of checks here. Who's online? Told Hawker driver's pretty good. Oh. Let me, alert, since I'm not sure if J Drums is at work today or enjoying life today. Hang on a second. Okay. Not that I like driving people away. He's, if folks new to the stream aren't familiar, Jay Drums and I work at the same firehouse, same airport. He's now in a different position within the airport. But anyway, in his garage is basically a fuselage cut from the tail, where the engines would be on each end, all the way up through the cockpit, minus the wings, of a Hawker. Hey, J Drum, speaking of the devil, there he is. Anyway, he is in the process of turning that fuselage, especially the cockpit, into a workable X-Planes, maybe Microsoft Flight Sim. We'll see how things go. Not sure how things are right now, but he's going to turn that into a workable flight sim that you sit in, you fly. He likes to be fully immersed into the plane. Anyway, I tipped him off to a guy that I've been following, or just started to follow. I haven't had the chance to catch him live. Hawker driver. And since he's got a Hawker in his garage, I thought he might be interested. So I just let him know that he was live right now. So, not that I like steering people away from this stream, but when I see things out there that might interest others, I try to give them the tip. Hope you're having a great day, J-Drums. Hope you're not out at work. Hope you're enjoying your Friday off, because I know you work a lot of hours out there, just like us in the firehouse. So, oh hell, it is Thursday. No, it isn't. Oh yeah, it is. I work tomorrow. Dadgummit. Folks, I've also worked a lot of overtime here of late, so pardon me, y'all get your good laughs on me. Yeah, I've completely lost track of. It's actually Moon Day, and I just don't know it. So, but anyway, you know, just like, oh, Yabo, I play Z726 said, if there is a watermelon, shouldn't there be a fire melon, air melon, earth melon, the elements? You know, I kind of feel like that. Oh boy, yeah. Okay, well, we're descending in now. We're going to get right back into cockpit. Something I can stay focused on and not try and make, what day is it? You have a great day out there, Mr. Drums. Hope you're getting caught up with everything. Okay, so we're now on the approach to Roanoke. Backdrop again, the Appalachian Mountains. Supposedly the Blue Ridge Parkway, but we've already been through the Blue Ridge Mountains. They're not blue, so I don't get it. All right, looking in here, we have Roxy still here, Extra More, and Arabs, along with the Big Marcus. Now is the time, folks, if you want to make predictions. Word again on the street is this is flying with Mike's 4th flight with the plane, so take that into account. All right, so coming up on transition, so once we do that, we'll continue with the approach checklist. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that up. Okay, so we're going to cross-check and set these guys here momentarily. What is Roanoke's weather? Ah, thank you for your kindness there, Mr. Drums, in thinking I'll actually be under 400. Actually, I might be. I just might make 2 or 3 landings. Hey, it's a good way to get current in a plane, isn't it? To bounce it? Alright, so let's see. I haven't seen the weather pop up for here yet, so let's do it. Alright, so we're variable 10 miles. Basically no, clouds, few of them at 3,000, 3019. Okay, that's the magic number I was looking for. 23 and 13. So we're looking a lot better here on our numbers here. As the fog continues to lift out here in the Appalachians. The Smoky Mountains have their name because in the morning they're covered usually in fog. Okay, hang on. Are we already? Alright, we are way too high. Looks like we're coming off GPS. Heading is set. And we're going to use this to get ourselves down. 18,000 foot at this point is just a little too high. Considering we should be coming over Dixie at 5,200 feet. Now I'm going to keep us on GPS for now, but I may pull us off here. Okay, there's 18,000. And again, we're looking at 3019. Okay, altimeter set. Belts, passenger signs. Okay, on. Recognition lights on. Oh, wrong one. Okay, anti-skid on. Pressurization checked, looking good. Avionics set. Approach briefing complete. Okay, we're going to hold right there. What I am going to do, though, as a backup, 1111.1. Sorry to hear that, J-Drums. Back to work. Know how that feels. Wait, yeah, we want that one on that. Okay. Heading will be gonna steepen us to about 1,000 foot a minute. Okay, we're going to go ahead and turn back around. It's like about 080. Okay. Okay, we're coming around. Oh, we're getting way too steep. Let's push in some power. Okay, I want to work at right around 1,000 feet a minute. Okay. Set right now. We'll do the click over here in a second to the next one. soon as we firm up on 060, we're going to turn back. Okay, we're going to turn back. Two. And that was my bad not watching my vertical speed. I wanted it to maintain about 1,000. Should have been closer to 1,800 feet, but 1,000 feet was what we were shooting for maintaining our approach. Our passengers go, why are we in such a circle? Because we were told to hold. Okay, so here we go, folks. Hopefully this time around the horn, we should be able to come in. And looking at our chart, okay, so we're up here. Kind of zoom it in. We're basically right in this area right here. Blacksburg Stadium is pretty much in the area. The airport's been below us. They're probably laughing their butts off going, hey, Flying with Mike is overhead. And we're just working this valley right here, folks. Okay, and anyway, our chart. Okay, like I said, there is an LDA and there is the GPS. Here is our approach. Again, from Pulaski, it's 17 miles to River to Dixie, 5 miles from there. River, Dixie is 5,200. River should be at or above 52. And then 5,200 at Dixie, 4,300 at Clam, and we work our way in. All right, we're going to go out just a smidge further. Pull some more power back. And let me just take a look at something here real quick. Okay, so 12,000. Let's start angling back in. $30.23. So that way we're just making sure we get that right cushion. Okay, right off here you can see where river is. Still not liking the altitude. At 18 miles. Well, we should be able to get down. All right. At Dixie, I'm going to really begin to slow us up. Like I said, I may even come off GPS and go over to the LDA for our backup. And I think it's going to be right on the other side of that ridge, city of Roanoke. Right now, Blacksburg, we should be pretty close to. All right, let's get some lights on. Although that could be the city as well of Roanoke. Anyway, we're about to find out, that's for sure. Okay, and remember, at the end of this, there'll be about a 10-15 minute intermission while we get things squared away to get us rolling out of Mid-America, headed to Punta Gorda. So, which I didn't even know, oddly enough today, there's an actual real flight out there going to coming in from Punta Gorda and heading out here in the next few hours, so. Okay, Roxy is now 9 miles out, about 3,000 feet high. As we try to compensate here. All right, I'm going to go ahead and turn off the anti-ice. Okay, folks, here we go. We're setting up for approach. Excuse me. All right, so approach check. Okay. We'll hold the landing gear till around Clam. Okay, Clam is 43. Dixie is in 4 miles. That's a 5,200 foot. Okay, we'll go ahead and get the ignition to on. Engine sinks off. Zero difference, good deal. Alright, so holding on to landing gear right now. Alright, so time to slow us. For now, we'll simulate going under the hood, folks. Let's get her 60. Clam will come out. Ah, 222. Triple twos from the Big Marcus. Okay, we're 3 miles from Clam. Coming up on Clam. Then we head down to 1,300, is it? $2,700. Heading for 27. Okay, we're up. Start looking for the runway. Okay, so it's gonna be out in here. Okay. Gear down.
$2,500.
Autopilot. Autopilot.
Okay, let's come off GPS real quick.
$1,000.
I think I got the runway in sight, but I'm not 100% sure yet. I think that's it right ahead of us, and we're gonna Roger, cleared to land runway 6, November 3206. Gear down, flaps full. That is the runway. We'll be going to the FBO. Okay, you see how it's white over red? That's what we want. Or red over white. My bad, my bad, my bad. Got it wrong.
400. 300.
Okay, slowing up to approach.
200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Sorry folks, I was trying to get the reversers to throw and I just realized a couple things I forgot to do. Let's clear the runway. We'll take a look here in a minute. Got a couple landings out of that one. Okay. Okay, we got a taxi. I could have came off a lot quicker. All right, let's do the after stuff while we taxi. All right, anti-skid off. Heat-o heat off. Igniters normal. Exterior lights, landing lights off. Off and caged. Transponder. Okay. TCAS off. Radar, flaps, speed brakes, trims, reset. Okay. Okay, I believe this is the one. The one chart said do not enter on will come in at delta. And that chart being, folks, see how it says no entry here? We'll just come down to delta. Next intersection, we'll park in here somewhere. This is the FBO. So where do we want to park? Okay, transponder to standby. It is. Alright, so we need to turn the AC and master switch off. So Okay. Throttles to cutoff. All right. So what I'm going to do here, first, bring them up a little, ungate them. Let's see if that did the trick. They should be dialing back, and it looks like they are. All right, we're just waiting for it to completely spool down so it's safe. Battery switch off. Clock shutdown checks complete. All right, folks. Well, that is a wrap for this part of the day. And let's let the passengers out. All right, what we're going to do real quick, like always, we're going to roll it back, take a look at the approach, how well I did, critique. Oh, let's first, you know what I'm forgetting? Oh, let's see. Wow. Landed at 101 feet a minute. Big Marcus, you son of a gun, you took it again. Man, real good at the guessing. All right. All right, folks, so we're going to roll the tape and see how we did. Let's first get off VATSIM. And we're off VATSIM. I also want to go ahead and clear out of hang on a second. Always love to make sure I see the flight. I did. All right, we're going to go ahead and close out of Sim Toolkit as well. So anyway, we are going to now roll it back, see how we did. We'll go back a little further. Okay. So far, so good. Other than that little jackrabbit hop, that wasn't a bad landing at all. I'm not going to complain. Wow. Let's take a look out this way. We come over the neighborhoods. Wonder if that's a I-81.
40, 30, 20, 10.
Not bad, folks. Well, let's set up and take a look out the other side of the aircraft.
100, 200, 300.
Ooh, look at that, right up against the mountains.
300. 100, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Really good landings, folks.
10, 20, 30, 40, 50.
We'll take a look
100.
from the tower. Oh, maybe not. Really nice landing. All right, folks, we are in the process right now of getting ready to switch over. This stream is coming to an end for this flight. However, as the aircraft works its way off the runway and towards the FBO, we're going to change gears, head back to Mid-America Airport, KBLV. I don't know, Gate 1 sounds like a good gate for today's flight. And we'll see you there shortly. So, folks, thank you all for flying with Mike on this first flight. Like I said, give us a second here to regroup. Give us about 15-20 minutes, and we should be up and going. We're not going to kill the stream. We may have a message up in front here while we get ready for the next flight. But folks, again, thanks for flying with Mike. God bless you all. Those of you that can see us from Mid-America to Punta Gorda, we'll see you in 20. The rest of you, y'all have a great Thursday. Thanks, J Drums, for that. Thanks, Yabo iPlay726 for following. We'll see you all in about 20 minutes. Y'all have a great day.